This is where the Scottish Rite parts company with almost everything you've been told about the second degree. In the lodges most people picture, the fellow craft climbs a staircase to a middle chamber and is handed his lessons. In the Continental tradition this rite descends from, there is no staircase at the center of the degree. There is a star, and to reach it, the candidate has to travel. This is the second degree as worked in the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite, the Continental line, the one that begins not with instruction, but with a journey. The entered apprentice was the rough stone, and almost everything was done to him. He was prepared, led, asked to be still, and to look inward. The companion, the fellow craft, is the first degree in which the candidate is set in motion and asked to act. The word itself carries it. A companion is a journeyman, one who has learned the rudiments and now travels to perfect them. In the old trade guilds, this was literal, years on the road, lodge to lodge, learning from each master in turn. The rite keeps the journey and turns it inward. The second degree is a search, so the instruments of this degree are not handed over in a single lecture and set on a table. They are carried, taken up one by one, across the journeys the candidate is about to make. Each tool answering to a different stage of the work. Which tools, in which order, varies between obediences and rituals. A careful working will tell you whose ritual it is showing. But the logic is constant. The apprentice was given tools to be shaped by. The companion is given tools to shape with. One note before we go on. In some places, the United States especially, the Scottish Rite proper begins above the craft degrees, and the second degree belongs to the Blue Lodge. Everything that follows is the Continental working, where the Rite confers this degree itself. The journeys begin at a porch, and at the porch stand two pillars, named in this tradition for strength and for establishment, read together as a single promise, that what is raised here will stand. And here is a small thing that tells you which tradition you are watching. In English and American lodges, the pillars are usually crowned with two globes, one of the heavens, one of the earth. They are a handsome idea and a late one, an 18th century addition. The older description, the one Continental working tends to keep, crowns the pillars with lily work, with network, and with pomegranates. And it lingers on the pomegranate, the single fruit packed with countless seeds, the emblem of the many gathered into one body. Not the universe mapped onto two spheres, a brotherhood figured as abundance. The pillars are not a destination. They are the gate the traveler leaves through. At the heart of this degree are the journeys, most often 5 of them, each one a circuit the candidate makes, and each one changing what he carries. The early journeys put the crudest instruments in his hands first, the mallet, the chisel. Force applied to raw matter, the will pressed against resistance. This is labor before it is skill. As the loops go on, the tools refine, the rule for measure. The lever for the weight a single man could never lift by strength alone, force multiplied by understanding. The compass for the curve and the proportion that no amount of effort alone can find. The candidate is being shown, in his own hands, that intelligence is what turns labor into craft. Then the square, rectitude, the proof that the work is true and not merely strong. And the last journey, in many workings, he makes empty-handed. The tools are gone, not lost, but absorbed. He no longer needs to hold them, because the discipline they taught has become his own. That is the whole argument of the degree in a single image. You carry the instrument until you no longer have to. The exact tools and their order differ from one obedience to another, and the journeys are sometimes tied as well to the 5 senses, the only channels by which any knowledge reaches a mind at all. The number itself is the companion's signature. The apprentice's number was 3. The fellow craft's is 5. 5 journeys, 5 senses, and 5 points to the star, still waiting at the center of the floor. The journeys end where this video began, at the blazing star with its single letter. The letter is read in more than one register at once, and the tradition refuses to make you choose. Geometry, the science the whole degree has circled toward, the proportion the compass was always reaching for. The deity, the grand architect, named by an initial because this rite prefers a symbol to a sermon. And, in Continental commentary, a third reading, generation, the living principle, the spark. The star is drawn burning for a reason. The knowledge it stands for is not meant to sit in the mind like furniture. It is meant to catch. This is the real fork in the road between the two traditions. The English and American second degree climbs a staircase to a middle chamber and receives its education there. A careful, ordered lecture on the orders of architecture and the 7 liberal arts. It is instruction, and it is good instruction. The Continental degree does something different with the same raw material. It does not seat the candidate down to be taught. It sends him out to look and tells him the light is something he has to reach by his own traveling. Knowledge here is framed less as a syllabus to receive than as a freedom to be earned. The second degree as the liberation of a mind, not the furnishing of one. That is why the journeys come first and the star comes last. You are not shown the light and asked to admire it. You are sent out, and the light is what you find. For his journeys, the companion is told he receives wages, corn, wine, and oil. Once the literal pay of the temple's builders, the rite keeps them as the symbols of a labor's honest return. Sustenance, refreshment, and gladness, taken without anxiety because they were actually earned. And some of what the companion receives is not for a video. There is a word and a way of giving it by which one fellow craft knows another. There are questions and answers learned by heart. Those exist, and they do their work, and they are described here rather than shown. The same line the first video kept. One aside for the careful viewer. The middle chamber that the English tradition makes the heart of this degree sits, in continental working, closer to the third degree than the second. One more reason the journeys, not the staircase, carry the weight here. The apprentice was asked who he was. The companion is asked what he is willing to go and find out. He is no longer the rough stone, and not yet the perfect one. He is the traveler. Instruments mastered and set down. Standing in front of a light, he had to walk 5 journeys to reach. That is the second degree.